welcome in everyone to the first live show on the new channel. This is the Baxter Street Boys. I'm your host, Cole Wilcox, joined as always by co-host Jake Gordon and producer Griffin Rudy. We're going to recap all week 2 tonight. Obviously, we got the Dogs. A lot to talk about there. Will we see some improvement? What we like to see going into South Carolina, all that good stuff. And then the week 2 as a whole was a great slate of games. I stayed up till dang near 2 a.m. watching Auburn and Cal play the worst football game ever assembled. But we appreciate you guys being here. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave us a comment if you're feeling real generous. We appreciate the growth this channel's already seen. It's all because of you guys. Football season obviously brings out the best in everybody. And, you know, we're only 2 games in. The Dogs are 2-0. We asked last week what it would be. What would have to happen for the Dogs to be 1-1? Didn't happen. We just keep moving forward. Anyway, got a lot to talk about. No need to wait around. I got a body armor sitting here. I got a coffee sitting here. I'm locked in. Hope you are too. Let's do it.
It's December, baby!
Oh, he's running over people. Just stepped on their face with a hobnail boot.
The freshman just ran it back to Philadelphia. No! Goal! Your sideline, and it's intercepted. Intercepted. Keely Ringo. Touchdown, Georgia.
I know I'm asking a lot, you guys, but down one.
Boys, how we feeling? What's going through the minds? How we living?
I'm good. I'm excited. I might try to go to the game this week. I haven't decided yet, but maybe.
Griff?
They made it a lot.
Yeah.
They made it a lot harder about student tickets. Don't worry.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to the game this week either. I think me and Corb are still heading down to Biloxi, so that's the plan right now at least. So
Speaking of Biloxi, if for all you sports fans out there, there's a playoff race in the Southern League right now that is outrageous. Like, it actually is. I'd have to go look at the records. We are the Montgomery Biscuits, my team. We were up 1.5 games going into the final week. We play the team behind us, Biloxi Shuckers. But we have won like 16 of the last 18 games that we've played, and we've gained like a half a game. Like, Biloxi's playing just as well. It's absolutely unbelievable. We win it. We win every day, and the Shuckers win every day. So something's got to give this week. If we split, we make the playoffs, 6-game series. We'd have to go 2-4 to not. I'm sure everyone will be tuning in. I'll be up on the bump Saturday, so I can't draw that up any better. I'm sure everybody will take time out of college football Saturday to watch me pitch a couple innings. But anyway, what's really important here, the Dogs are 2-0.
that is very important.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be real honest with you. I was getting pissed off, like extremely pissed off. I did not get pissed off at all the first week. I was a little bit pissed off this week. Why was I pissed off?
Oh, I know why I was. It's because I had under 31 in the second half or the first half, and then these guys rip off 31 points in the second quarter at the end of a 0-0 first quarter. That's how I should have known that my day was going to go.
Griff?
But no, I don't know why you were pissed.
Why are you pissed off?
And just thoughts on the game. I mean,
Just thoughts on the game.
Why should I have been pissed off in the first quarter?
Well, the first quarter, our offense was anemic. I mean, it was just absolutely horrendous. I couldn't even watch it. So
see, here's where the issue lies. I saw a lot of people like, well, what Bobo's scheme? It was the players not executing. It's like, okay, we'll give them things they're going to easily execute. That's my thing. It's like, well, they weren't blocking on screens. It's like, okay, well then why don't we hold the screens for a little bit? You know, like you gotta. It's a two-way street where the coordinator and the players have to be on the same page, and the players do have to execute 1,000%. And all 3 of us on this pod were Bobo fans. We were good with the hire. I liked Bobo when he was here the last time. I still like Bobo. I wouldn't change the hire now.
Yeah.
The only problem with Bobo, the difference, actually, it's not even a problem. The difference between Monken and Bobo, you might say, well, it's unfair to compare Bobo to Monken. Well, no, it's not, because Monken set the standard here now. So, like, everything's going to be compared to him. When we were in a big game, Monken scored on the first drive every single time. Like, it was just boom, 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 boom. Somebody's wide open. We're running for 5 yards to carry. Somebody's open, touchdown. Like, it was the easiest drives ever. Mm-hmm. When Bobo was here, we had a history of starting very slow, and then we didn't have the elite talent we have now where we pull away from teams like we played on Saturday. And we're going to pull away from South Carolina on Saturday. That's the difference between the two OCs at this point. we have to come out firing. Like slow starts can't happen anymore. Like maybe like once every season, but like that's 2 games in a row now against bad teams. We're getting into a good part of the schedule here. We have to come out and start faster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in like a slow start, like even when Monken would have like a quote unquote slow start, it would still be like 10 points in the first quarter. It would still be up like 10-0. We would just be mad we weren't up more.
Yeah. You really just don't. A slow start is just how you let bad teams like stay in games. Because like you think about how slow it was against Missouri to start, and they just rode that momentum all the way. Like they never really started playing that well. We just kind of kept playing bad. You know?
Yeah. And that's the only thing that concerns me. And I know there's people in the comments saying, well, you know, it's on the players. It is on the players too. Like it takes. I'm not just singling out Bobo here. Like part of the fast start is getting your players ready to start fast. Like that kind of goes into that always. So that's the only problem I have right now.
We have a team. I mean, we have a history of not just wringing the necks of these low-level FBS, FCS teams and things like that. So that gives me a little bit of hope too. Maybe they come out against South Carolina and come out and hang 55 on them.
No doubt.
All of this is forgotten. Because, I mean, I remember last year with Sanford, 33-0.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, it was stagnant.
It's a bigger margin of victory than that. Sanford's a decent team. Like they're one of the higher-level FCS teams. The SoCon's a really good conference. I think they're still in the SoCon. Don't quote me on that, but you get the point.
They are. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I'm really like the score is whatever, honestly. Like we're gonna win the game. We never blow teams like this out. So like it's not like that was never the big deal. It's just like, all right, 2 weeks, 2 pretty slow starts on offense. Just kind of like I talked about like let's get the tempo going a little bit last week in the show. And early on in the drive we did. We're moving down the field, offensive line was getting a good push, and then it was like one incomplete ball, and it was just like, all right, let's take all 40 seconds right here on the play clock. Like, no, just get back to the line and do something, But that's really it. And then now we can kind of get into the details of the game. Is it fair to say that Carson
played
Beck
good in this game?
Yeah, I thought he's played good both games, really.
Yeah, me too.
My first comment about this game is rest in peace to anybody that took 42.5 with the hook, because it was 45-0. Then they kicked that field goal and nobody scored again.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's a tough one.
Fair to say, like Beck has probably been the best quarterback in the SEC at this point. I know we played no one, but the bar is super low on SEC quarterbacks right now.
Yeah. It definitely isn't high.
Jaden Daniels played better last week versus Grambling State or Grambling University or whatever.
He's a fine player.
They posted LSU posted an Instagram post. It's like the only 2 players to ever throw for 5 touchdowns in one half or something like that in the SEC or LSU history or something like that, and it was Jaden Daniels versus Grambling State and Joe Burrow in a playoff game.
Wow.
I don't know if it was
there's a little bit different there.
It seems I swear that happened in a playoff game, so I don't quote me on it, but Joe Burrow was the other guy to do it.
Yeah, I mean maybe like Jackson Dart. He's been pretty good.
Yeah, he's been
about all I got. I haven't been watching a ton of these other SEC games because frankly none of them have been any good. Yeah.
I'm pleased where Carson's at going into South Carolina. I think he's kind of got his feet wet. We've let him throw the ball. He threw the ball 30 times on Saturday. He did have the interception, whatever.
That was kind of it was a wonky interception.
It was a weird one. It was a very weird one. But we went into the last game like really pretty much challenging the offensive line. I thought they played a lot better personally. And early on, I was kind of like, all right, our offensive line gets no push. We can't run the ball. It's still like this, blah, blah, blah. Well, then we put Dylan Bell back there, and he just takes one to the house. So then it's like, okay, maybe the issue lies in the backfield right now. And we talked about this before the season started. Like, this was the big question mark when we asked the Twitter people, any questions for us? Everybody wanted to ask about the running back room. And the running back room is something we've never, ever had to be concerned about at this university. It's just we are RBU. Debatable. We've always had good ones. This year, I still think we have good ones. We're banged up bad. I think Kendall's not 100%. There's just no way. There's no way. Like, just watching him run, he's not 100%.
Yeah.
Dejon Edwards, we need back in the rotation. Roderick Robinson, I like. He's still a rookie. Like, he's still a freshman. It's going to take him some time to get going. He averaged 6.3 yards a carry at a tutty. Like, he's going to be really good. He looks the part, too. I'm happy with where he's at. we just got to get some guys going. Like Cass Jones is a legitimate option at this point. Like he's pretty freaking good receiving wise. That catch he made on a touchdown was like as good as it gets. Like that's a good catch for a receiver.
Yeah, he looked good.
A heck of a ball by Beck.
Oh yeah.
So
Arian Smith looked better in this game. He only got a couple targets in this one, but
I thought the receiver played really well as a whole.
Yeah, I did too.
Dylan Bell, I love him. He's really good. Ra looked good. He had the long ball. Or he had two pretty much. I mean, he averaged 17 yards a catch. Delp had a good game. He's going to be a weapon for us, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And then, all these guys put up. Like, Lovett was the guy we went to on third down a couple of times. You love to see that. Like, he seems to be the guy where, when we get in a bind and we need somebody to go to, it was kind of like Jermaine Burton in 21 where it was like, all right, we got a score right here. Who we going to? And it was Jermaine. Like, I feel like that's going to be Lovett a lot this year, and we still haven't even seen Ladd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking about this too. Quiet game from Brock Bowers, but I mean, he feasts on South Carolina, so I don't know. Hopefully, I'm sure he doesn't really care that much. It's a noon kickoff against Ball State, but yeah, only one catch for 3 yards.
Yeah, he had a rare drop. I thought I was in the Twilight Zone or something when he dropped that ball. I've literally never seen that in my life, but that's pretty much the least of my concerns at this point.
Yeah.
Also, it was
Marcus
noticeable.
Rosemy-Jackson.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's noticeable what Marcus Rosemy-Jackson adds to the offense, and that is just like stability and guys you can just completely rely on. First third down of the game in the red zone. It wasn't the first one of the game in the red zone. He makes like that's who we go to. Nice route, nice play call, right to Marcus Rosemy-Jackson. Like you just know what you're going to get out of him. Kirby named him a captain right off suspension. He's earned the trust of everybody. Carson Beck's probably thrown 1,000 footballs to this guy over the last 4 years.
Yeah,
so
for real.
He might have the best rapport with him. I don't know yet, but it was obviously huge having him back. But the star of the game, I think everyone can agree on this. Makai Muse is a weapon. A legit weapon.
He is a monster.
Like he's the first guy we've had back there since Isaiah McKenzie that you're like, all right, he could house this. Like
I would say Mecole Hardman was after Isaiah McKenzie.
Yeah, but Mecole.
How did they keep?
Wasn't even Mecole would return like one every 6 punts.
Yeah, but he returned a punt for a touchdown before, did he not?
I don't know.
I think he did for some reason, and people kept getting that stat wrong, and it was really weird to me how they kept getting it wrong, like on Twitter and stuff. They'd be like, "That's the first punt return Georgia's had since 2008 when Isaiah McKenzie and Mecole Hardman both had done it."
I don't know. I don't remember Mecole doing it. I'm sure he did. But like Mecole and Isaiah McKenzie both, they were electric punt returners, but it was also a coin flip whether they were going to catch the punt.
It was. Yeah, that's true.
And that was terrifying. Like eventually we just put Terry Godwin back there. Remember? Like, we're just like, Terry Godwin, you're catching punts.
Terry Godwin would catch it every single time.
Right here. Fair catch.
He never missed it.
Caught it, and I loved it. Because going from McKenzie to Mecole, it was terrifying. But yeah, Mecole wasn't even like the full-time returner. Makai Muse is the full-time returner. Like opening kickoff, like dude, he is electric. He can return any kick. He's going to change some games for us, and it's going to be awesome. Like even the punt return changed the game for us. Honestly,
do you think we see Ladd back there at all anymore with Makai Muse?
No, I really don't. I don't see a reason.
I don't think so either. Ladd was good at it too.
Yeah, Ladd was solid at it, but Muse is there is an element to returning kicks. I don't know what it is because you feel like it's just playing football, but it's clearly different than everything else. And there's just people that are better than others at it. Like Devin Hester, a pretty average receiver, the best punt returner of all time. Like Makai Muse is an elite returner. I've seen enough. Like the way he just sets stuff up and then he just takes off. He's got a knack for it. You just leave him back there and let him do it. He's going to return 3 or 4 kicks this year.
Yeah.
When was the last time we had a kickoff return? Was it Gurley against Clemson?
No.
It feels like it. I feel like
J.R. Real says nope, Hardman never returned a punt nor a kickoff. But I swear I remember distinctly a 90-yard kickoff or punt return from him versus Kentucky. I don't know.
Look, I'm sure it's available.
I don't know what in my brain is happening there, but I feel like I've seen that before for some reason.
It'll say if he has stats on here. He returned kicks.
He returned one for a touchdown?
Yes, 2018. Yeah. It doesn't say. I can look in the game logs. Also, he only returned like 16. Like, it wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we
Let's
rotated
see.
guys that year.
There we go. I swore he returned one.
It was against
If
it
Griffin
was
nails
against
again,
Middle
that'll be
Tennessee
impressive.
State.
MTSU.
Yeah, week
That's
3.
why I don't remember it.
He didn't do one versus Kentucky ever. We paused it.
Kentucky? I mean, Middle Tennessee State, Kentucky, those are
Yeah, that's
pretty
true. That
similar
might be what you're
looking.
thinking of.
He did
I
return
swear
a
it's
punt for
Kentucky.
65 yards, but he didn't score.
Yeah. Anyway, Makai Muse is a beat. Like that's where we're getting at.
Yeah. That's what we're getting at here.
He's awesome. Anything else on the offense
Yeah,
anything you want to see or didn't see or concerned, happy with?
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, the first quarter was frustrating. All was forgotten by the end of the game.
Right.
But I don't think you can come out that slow against South Carolina next week. I don't want to tangle with
you
them.
just don't
Another
want to.
Stupid. No.
I liked a lot what I saw in the second quarter when we just kind of started letting Beck rip it a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Let him sling the ball around. Let him throw it past the sticks. Like,
People think that like some easy passes early means like throwing behind the line of scrimmage. No, it means like that curl we had where he hit who'd he hit over there? Like first drive. And it was a dart.
I think it might have been Arian Smith, I'm pretty sure, for some reason.
When I played quarterback, I know like a screen pass did nothing for me.
Yeah, I feel the same way because I feel like it's way more deflating too, than losing yards on a screen pass that you complete.
It's not even that. Even like me pitching right now, like if I went out before a game and like I don't know, if I didn't throw everything in warm-ups, I wouldn't feel good going into the game. Like Beck probably wants to let some fly pretty early. Like
I know he probably feels most comfortable with that.
Over the middle. I loved the comeback route. Like it was early in the game, wide open, boom, little rhythm ball for him. It came out really smooth. Like
deep ball over the middle to Arian Smith.
People think screens are like a super easy ball to throw. Screens, like you got to catch, you got to set your feet quick and throw it. A lot of times you don't have the laces. Like there's a little bit of touch to it. Like some guys don't love doing that. Like Beck seems like he's a gunslinger. Let him rip some. I don't care if he misses a deep ball. Like let him throw. When we get second one early, send one. That might be what he needs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to complain. I like pushing downfield. It's all well and good until you're in a dogfight, and then you haven't really been controlling the tempo of the game or anything. But I don't think that's going to be an issue with this team. I think the defense is so good. I mean, they looked incredible again this week. But yeah, that first real test is going to be this week. They might. I want to see him have Spencer Rattler in hell again, man. Last year, that dude was not having a good time.
Yeah, for sure. We'll obviously have the full breakdown of South Carolina coming up later in the week. But yeah, it's South Carolina hate week. So like any jab we have at them, we don't have to hear that bullcrap song this year. That's good at least. Zachary Moss says, "What up? What up?" I mean, Zach's like the man. He's our biggest guy. So. What's up, Zach?
Dude, I forgot Rattler only threw for 118 yards last year.
It was surgical. Yes,
he's got the Desmond Ritter stat line.
They put the backup in that game.
Yeah, that was Cody. I forgot the punter. The punter completed a 20-yard pass. He was their best quarterback that day.
Oh yeah, and then Kirby shoved them on fourth down the next after they did that and said, "First down, mother."
All right, yeah. Defensively, what do we see? What do we like? Obviously, I mean, I guess we can just talk about it every week. Malachi Starks is different this year. Like he was already the best last year, and now he's even better. It's unbelievable.
He's too good. Like it's not fair how good he is.
He's a top 10 player in the country.
It's not even close. To be honest.
Yeah, I'm a little. I don't know if concerned is the right word, but I'm prepared for Javon Bullard to miss some time. Kirby always does that. Oh well, we're gonna see if he can practice this week. We'll see if he can practice. We'll see what he does. That means he's out. Like, come on.
Yeah, no doubt.
I've done this before. You can't fool me anymore on this, man. I've been through enough. We did this last year. I mean, we did it with George Pickens the year before. George Pickens was a maybe every single week. But just hopefully he's not that hurt.
He was
that we
maybe
can get
in
him
fall
back,
practice. Dude wasn't even walking yet.
Yeah.
He still had a
George
full
Pickens.
cast on.
George Pickens is on crutches, like walking around at the game, and Kirby's like, "We're gonna see if he can practice this week. We'll see how he does in practice this week."
His
Yeah,
wound was still
Kirby's-
open.
Kirby's getting nothing for sure. Yeah, you're right, Jake Bullard. I think we just have to move on as if he's out this week, which really, really sucks because he's as
But
vital as anyone. But we did have an Aguero signing in this game.
I was about to say we'll get to see a little more of him.
And Tyke can just probably move to safety, and we put Aguero at star. And
Well,
let's roll.
what was his name? David Daniel something?
Yeah,
His name is
Savannah.
Yeah, Savada. Yeah, dude, he played a lot.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
looked
Bullard
good,
went
too.
out early. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we got plenty of talent to throw back there. So
y'all know who we're forgetting. Dan Jackson.
Dan Jackson.
Dan Jackson. Yeah.
Dirty Dan.
Dirty Dan will start. Hadn't he picked off Rattler before?
Oh yeah, he picked. Remember, he dominated freaking. No, he dominated the tight end. Who am I blanking on right now?
Jaheim Bell.
Jaheim Bell.
He did.
Remember,
He
he
bothered
big
Jaheim
dogged
Bell.
him. He took that shit from him.
Yes, Rattler's father will be starting the safety, Cash Jones.
Spencer Rattler.
Hey, by the way, while we're shouting out the all the boys, the friends of the program, Chad Chambliss interception. Oh, but another. By the way, how do we keep getting these off the foot tip interceptions? Like that is
Dude,
so. Goofy.
that
Wasn't my
quarterback-
prediction before the year that this would be the most turnovers we had as a defense?
Somebody said that.
I don't
And
remember.
we have an outrageous amount of turnovers so far. Like outrageous amount.
Well, we had like 4 in that game.
Yeah, we had a bunch the first game too.
He beamed that guy's ankle with that ball.
Dude, that had to hurt. Like that had to hurt
That hurt so
extremely
bad.
bad. Those footballs, if you've never held one, are so hard. The tips of those footballs are extremely hard.
Yeah.
Dude, that was like literally
Tore off the
a trick
Achilles,
shot.
bro.
No, he
That's like-
beamed his ankle.
That's like something you try to do in like the pool. Like that is such a goofy way to get an interception. And like Chaz just turned around and he was just like, it was like, look what I found. And then I credit to him because he snapped with it and started running.
Oh,
See a
no.
goal.
Yeah.
That's fine.
We'll get
But no,
back here in a minute.
Yeah, he'll be in a minute. But yeah, dude, he just hits him right in the chest. He's like, oh, it just starts going. And we got 2 tip interceptions, right? I think.
No,
one
yeah, there was
straight
another
up.
one. I can't remember exactly how it went.
I think
but-
Starks got it. Did he not? I want to say it was
Kick me out
Malachi
here.
that got it.
Yeah, he kicked you out. You're back though. Your camera's a little covered up though.
First live show of the year. It had to go smoothly. Oh yeah, I want to look at that real quick though, because I'm pretty sure it was
you
Malachi.
hear me?
Yeah,
Malachi Stark's pick was he just like came over the top and just picked it off. Like
so then it was Tyke. Yeah, it was Tyke.
yeah, it was Tyke's that got picked off. But
I
Stark's
thought-
interception was sick. It was a good looking pick. It was just one of those where he's just like a ball hawk, safety. Like dude just left it in the air way too long and he just came over from the middle of the field and picked it off.
Yeah, and since we respect all 3 phases of the game, I think it would be remiss to say we covered kicks really well. That's always important. Just as important as offensive defense.
We did miss a field goal.
We did. We got to clean that up.
It was an ugly one too. It was
like the first drive of the game. It was like a 20-yarder.
28-yarder.
We got to clean that up. But yeah, cover kicks well. But other than that, on defense, I mean, there's not really anything to complain about. You gave up like 200 total yards, 3 points, and I mean the 3 points came in garbage time.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we played really well and outside of that first quarter, it was easy to get over that first quarter because we ended up scoring 31 in the second quarter, and the offense.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It looked like it was kind of
Loved
clicking.
it.
Yeah, Jake did have first half.
That pissed me off so bad.
I don't know what happened.
Are you back?
I don't either.
Everything showed it was working. It didn't work. So I don't know.
Yeah,
now I got a worse camera. So whatever. I just screwed all the good technology. I'm just rolling with the laptop stuff.
Yeah, just roll with it.
Did y'all hear? When did I stop?
I can't remember, but you
this
didn't
tweet-
make it very long.
This tweet deserves a shout out. We were
We
talking
just
about
kind of we never heard the tweet. Yeah, we just kind of
okay.
kept
The
going.
Chaz Chambliss thing. Back on that, it was. I tweeted out when he got with the pick, like everybody had that on their bingo card, a Chaz Chambliss interception, and there was a guy who commented a tweet that said "Noted ball hawk Chaz Chambliss." which made me laugh a lot. You got to retweet.
He is a ball hawk.
Ball hawk.
He's got a pick, man.
I don't know.
I
That
do
was
love,
so fluky, dude.
When it's like defensive linemen getting interceptions, they usually make it a super athletic play. They're like jumping a screen, or they're like getting a hand up and then bringing it down with one hand, and he just turns around and just bounces into his chest. Hey, you get it how you can get it.
No doubt.
Off of
No
that
doubt.
dude's ankle too. Like that ball bounced so far off his ankle. He beamed the heck out of him.
That's what
Yeah.
he's saying, man. Those balls are hard. That hurts.
Yeah, it would hurt. Anybody else stand out on D?
Not that I can think of.
I mean, Tyke was all over the backfield. He seems to be moving. It's kind of the speed he was when we got him in the transfer portal at this point. So that's good news because you can't ever have enough depth in the secondary. We saw him. We just talked about it, Bullard going down. So we're gonna need him.
There's one play that Marvin Jones Jr. made that I was like, oh yeah, look how big he is.
Just let him get going. Just let him get going. He's going to be different. Ever since that Tennessee game, I'm like, this guy, he's the one. He's going to be awesome. So we'll see. How much of the pass rush unit did we see? Did y'all even notice?
I didn't really notice, to be honest. But I hope we see it a lot
watching
next week.
conditions weren't the best.
Yeah, mine weren't either.
I was at Paloma, and I was the TV that had it on was in the middle, and I was off to the right, and I bet on Colorado and Nebraska, so I was looking forward to Colorado, Nebraska, and looking to the left and catching the game on the side.
Yeah, I need to rewatch the game. I haven't rewatched it yet. I usually go back and rewatch them on Sundays, but I had a hectic one yesterday, so I have to go hit it again. But defense, it's what do you even say at this point? You know what you're going to get. We'll see this week. This will be the real test, but South Carolina's offensive line was horrendous against North Carolina, so I could see Rattler in some chaos this week.
Yeah, especially
I would love
in
to
Athens.
get a couple more interceptions.
Yeah. How many turnovers on defense do we have? Let me see if I can find that.
I think
Maybe
we
somebody
had,
lost
seven.
We had 3 picks yesterday.
I think
One fumble recovery.
So, do y'all remember y'all's predictions for the game? Anybody?
No.
No, actually.
Mine
did
was.
Did we even predict the score on this one?
No, somebody did. Somebody predicted this.
I think I did, and I probably said 42-0 or something.
I said
you came pretty close. I think
it had to be close. Yeah, I said that the defense would score another touchdown, and the defense didn't necessarily, but special teams did, so that counts.
I think you said 49-7, Jake.
Guess who's leading our
Something
team
like
in receiving yards? By the way.
Hang on, don't tell me because it's gonna be somebody goofy. It's gonna be Cash Jones, isn't it?
McCombs.
Oh,
This dude's unbelievable.
That long one in.
Our leading rusher is Roderick Robinson with 88 yards. That's got to be better.
That's tough.
Oh yeah, don't like to see that tough at all.
That's got to be better.
Hopefully
before we get in the
Dejan back soon.
Yeah, for sure. Before we go into the full week 2, I was trying to see if we could hit this up. Defense, interceptions, 1, 2, 4. We have 4 interceptions.
Yeah, we have 1 in the first game and then 3 in the last game.
4 interceptions, no fumbles. So we only have 4.
No, I swear we had a fumble in this past game that we recovered for some reason.
No, they lost it. They recovered it. But they did lose one. I just looked. Rico Barfield was the guy who fumbled. Shout out to that guy.
All right. Anything else in the dogs? We're moving on.
I think we can move on.
Dylan Bell at running back. I'm down for that. Let's get weird.
Yeah, let's get him at running back. Let's start the trend. Let's start the movement.
I think Graham Coffey started the Dylan Bell is Debo Samuel before the season, and he's right. He is. So let's do it. Let's just give him the ball. All right, week 2 as a whole. Obviously, we have to start out in Tuscaloosa. What do you take from that game? Just hit me with it.
I think Quinn Ewers
really watched that one, but yeah,
Quinn Ewers is a
stud
runner, one of the front runners for the Heisman right now. The way he played,
I took him to win the Heisman, and I definitely, I'm a big never drank the Texas Kool-Aid, and I said this year was finally the year to stop fading them, even if they lost this game. And it's kind of, it might be time to start taking them seriously.
And I hate to bring him up because it hurts a little bit, But AD Mitchell played so good.
Yeah, he's kryptonite.
That guy hates Alabama. He just dominates them.
Dude,
look, I gotta say, I gotta say, I see how the ball gets spread out in our offense. Maybe that's not for him. I have no hard feelings for the guy. It is what
He
it
did
is
catch
at this point.
he did catch a touchdown in every playoff game he played in, but that's we've talked about that before. So.
True, but I mean,
So the thing that I took away from that game the most was obviously I don't want to just sit here and just like dance on Alabama, but it's so easy to just because we were on here 2 weeks ago saying like, what happened where all of a sudden Bama went from the most doubted team to the front runner to win. Like their offensive line was getting all this hype, and I never understood it because it's not all that different from last year. Like they got the talented freshman in there. Well, he looked like a freaking freshman on Saturday. He's going to be fine, but still, like I don't know what about this year made everyone say that. Texas whipped them up front on both sides of the ball. They did. Like whipped them. Their defensive line whipped them. And Milroe is already a guy who even Kirk Herbstreit was saying during the game. He's a one-read guy. Like he's the guy where if he knows where he's going, like his deep ball when it's a one-read, it's really good. Like he can really throw the deep ball. But if he has to make some decisions, it ain't happening right now. And he could, that could slow down for him over time. But Texas didn't give him time to make that second decision because they were on him quick. They looked really good. Texas is stupid talented. It's like we'll get to this team I'm about to mention in a minute. It's like Miami where like the roster is so loaded it would take someone to try to hold them back. Texas seems like they should walk through the Big 12. Like in all honesty, it would be
that was always going to be their recipe. Yeah, that was always going to be Texas's recipe going into this game. Like make Milroe uncomfortable and air it out. Like that was kind of just always.
And they have the guys to do it.
Yeah, dude. And
I've gone blank on this guy's name, but that white dude on Texas's front was disgusting.
No, I know exactly.
He was
I don't know his name either, but he dominated.
Yeah, that guy's awesome. He was just lived in the backfield.
Yeah, people tried to compare the quarterback situations at Alabama and Georgia, saying Nick Saban was doing the same thing Kirby was doing, but it turns out we have 3 good quarterbacks. Alabama has none. So sucks, hate to be right about everything, but that's just kind of the way it is right now with Georgia fans. So
I don't know how much this impacts Bama, except for the fact that like they have to walk a very thin tightrope for the rest of the year. Like there's no wiggle room at this point. And for Texas, like it meant more for Texas. I'm with you, Jake. It meant way more for Texas than Bama to me. Like it does prove that Bama is not like nobody fears Bama at this point anymore. I don't think anybody fears anybody in college football really, but like used to going into Bama, like you're 7-point dog. At least as a fan base, college football fan base, that's like that game's over. Like no one's winning that game. When like Texas, you're on the edge of your seat because you're like, they could legitimately win, and they did. So until Vegas like corrects their obsession with Bama, like last year I said this, like just keep betting against Bama. Like it used to be the old saying, like you don't get rich betting against Bama. Well, the last 2 years you have. Like they don't cover that often.
You got it, Jake.
Going back to your earlier point, I don't see anybody thus far that's looked unbeatable. And weirdly enough, it's way too early for this talk, but like really the only one is like Florida State. But that's yet to be determined. But still, like there's nobody this year that I'm like, oh yeah, they're like the big dog. Like somebody's gonna have to take it from them. Like maybe Georgia proves me wrong with that one this week. But yeah, that's definitely a possibility if Georgia comes out and whips South Carolina and establishes a little bit of control. But so far, like they look beatable. They look like they could lose a game. Everybody does. Like that's kind of where I'm at here. Florida State has looked the best so far, but we're still not 100%.
I would say Texas is right there.
I think they're close.
I would lean Texas.
I think that Texas win is way bigger than FSU's win over LSU.
Florida State Texas does too, but Florida State just has dudes, man. They got dudes everywhere. They got Keon Coleman, they got Johnny Wilson, they got Jaheim Bell, and then Jared Verse on defense. Like, yeah. But, like I said, I'm still not going to count out Georgia. Like, I'm not overreacting to anything so far.
I think I like Sark as a coach better than Blanken.
I'll let you figure it out. I'll give you 3 seconds.
I like Sark too.
Norvell. Put in this first comment, Griff. It's Saban's on. We need eyes.
I was about to do that.
That's not the one I said, but that'll work too.
Oh, I was about to say
what?
This one is. I was about to bring this one up. Let's talk about it first.
Jordan
But-
Robbins says, I don't know if y'all talked about it because I just joined, but Texas was chanting, we want Georgia. Yeah, I mean, heck, I probably would too. Like,
Euphoric. That
If you-
it's music to my ears. It's beautiful.
if you that's pretty clever by them to do that and get like after beating Bama. Like Texas seems like I heard somebody this week compare like we were watching the Texas game and he's from Texas and he's like, I do not want them to win this game. He's like, this would be like for you because he knows my disdain for this fan base. He's like, this would be for me like when Tennessee wins for you. And I'm like, I don't see that as possible. Like I know Texas fan has such a big fan base. I'm sure half of them are moronic, but they seem fairly clever. Like with some of the stuff that they do, they seem soft with the horns down, but they seem a little bit clever. Tennessee fans have like no cleverness or wittiness to them. They're just the loudest person in every room. Like it's just that type of fan base.
Yeah, and they just say like stuff that makes no sense that they're just making up.
They're clueless.
All right, you wanted this one?
No, the first one.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, it's Saban smiling. We know Isaac Tuscaloosa, so that's good too. That's good.
Yeah, that is.
Oh,
good.
he
That
means
is good.
business. He's smiling in the press conference.
I texted y'all that. I don't even remember texting y'all that because I'd been drinking a little bit. But I texted y'all like 12:30. I was like, "Someone please post that clip." And we were just like, "That's a stupid reason to pick Alabama for anything."
He's freaking
Oh, that's what you were
smiling,
talking
baby.
about. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
think
I didn't know
I
which
don't
one
think
you were
that
talking
text
about.
made sense, Jake. I think that's
It probably didn't. I want to go.
because I was like, "What's he talking about?" But
I was too. I was like, I'm just.
We
Gonna,
do
I was
do that, though.
already in bed. I was. I'm gonna leave it where it's
Yeah,
at.
It kind of made sense. I said, "Oh well, no, it didn't." I just said, please clip the Bama is mad clip from last show. Yeah, that didn't make sense.
yeah,
I mean,
I was trying to figure out what
If
we
I
were
said
talking
please
about.
post, I think it would have made more sense.
Then I think I forgot about it. All right, next game, in my opinion, the biggest one was A&M Miami. I think there's two very similar teams. Miami showed up. They played their balls off. Like, they looked really freaking good. They pretty much gave A&M the game in the first half. That's the only reason it was close. Second half, Miami just flexed their muscle, and it was pretty freaking impressive. I'm not going to lie to you. It was impressive.
That's what we were talking about. Like whenever, like on the last show, like this is the game. Like which way we going, guys? Like it's going to go one way or the other. But I was impressed with Miami's play call. They had a couple play calls I really liked, which is kind of surprising.
Well, last year the problem was they hired Gaddis from Michigan. That guy stinks. They got the new play caller in, and it's a completely different story. Like last year, their issue was their receivers were not very good. Like the offense was stagnant. Their receivers looked awesome. Tyler Van Dyke is playing with unbelievable confidence, and
Tyler
they were
Van
nasty
Dyne,
up
if you
front.
will.
Yeah, trademarked. But they were good up front. Like they're a complete team. I'm salivating for a Miami FSU like ACC for the ACC. That is sick.
Yeah.
And I tweeted about it in the thread. Like that's exactly what that conference needs. That's a dying conference who is adding Cal and somebody else just to try to like piece it together.
Cal, Stanford, and SMU.
If Miami and FSU are at the top of the conference, that changes the whole trajectory of that whole conference. Like those are two brand name teams in the state of Florida that have been kind of dead giants for a while, and if they're woken up, that'll put the nation on hold.
Clemson.
Yeah, I think it would be fun.
FSU next week though.
But the issue is, here's the issue at Miami fans. Go to the game. And don't give me the excuse that like, oh, it's not on campus, so you're always supposed to do. When Georgia plays in Mercedes, that place is full. Like when Tennessee plays in Virginia, that place is full. Like, who cares where it's at? Go to the freaking games. Like embarrassing.
I was mind blown at the amount of people that were there.
Yeah, it kind of pisses me off actually.
No, yeah, it's
the
so
thing.
dumb.
See, I watched it. This is getting way off track, so I'll keep it short. I did watch this video where it was like talking about how UConn's football program, like how they used to, like they were like in an Orange Bowl and then like they completely fell off, and that was a huge problem. Is their stadium was like 45 minutes from their campus. So I'm like, yeah, I could tolerate that from UConn. They're not a football powerhouse, but Miami, yeah, you should be ashamed of yourself.
It is a problem that their field is that far away from the campus. I don't understand that at all.
Do they have any plans for making a stadium like of their own? Because it's not even their stadium, is it? Like,
yeah, they play
no, it's the Dolphin Stadium.
Yeah,
they just get a stadium because that is embarrassing. It really is. Like, figure it out. That can't happen. That's too big of a game. It's too good of a fan base to like.
But surely they have the money
that.
too. If
Yeah,
Northwestern's
no
got the money to build a new stadium, surely Miami does.
Yeah,
and also, like there's so many people in Miami that are not like students at Miami. So like that's not the whole like Stores, Connecticut is one thing, but like come on, like
the other thing I took out of this game was like I'm not giving up on A&M yet because Like their offense does look different to me than it did last year. And I like Wegman a lot. I like the receivers a lot. I think once they kind of get familiar with Petrino and he gets familiar with them, like they're going to be able to dial it up. I was very disappointed in the defense because that defensive line is like when you take that player by player, that is the most talented defensive line in the country. It's ridiculously good. Like they should be better than that. I saw somebody tweet out the other day. They said, I don't know if this is true, but I had this take 2 years ago and I'm standing by it. The reason that Alabama and Ohio State are down on defense is because A&M took all the guys they used to have. But now they're being wasted at A&M. So like that's not the reason.
I don't think that's too far off.
It's not the sole reason, but like that's definitely part of it. Like Christian Miller and those guys, like they're too good to be there. Not Christian Miller, he's over with us. Shamar Stewart, like he's too good to be just like in
Walter Nolan.
Yeah, they're stupid good. So they got to figure that out on their own. They were good last year, so maybe they will.
Yeah, dude, I heard people like kind of clowning Tyler Van Dyke before like in this game because they were like he trademarked he gave himself the nickname Tyler Van Dyke. But pretty sick now that he just freaking gave himself that nickname and went out there and diced Texas A&M up.
I was on the pod last year just boosting this guy because I thought he was really good and talented. And
1 year late.
He made me look like an idiot, but I was 1 year late. I was a year early, and they're good. They're a problem. The next point I had. Go ahead, Jake.
Auburn sucks. I was gonna say Auburn.
Yeah, that's
they do
really
suck.
Good.
Yeah,
and you can take it past Auburn. This potentially is the worst SEC I've seen in a long time.
It's not great, and it doesn't. It's not a big coincidence that quarterback play is all we were all at the beginning of the year. Like we don't even know who the best quarterback in this conference is.
And
by the way, if you made it this far, please like and subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, I figured I'd get that out of there before we kept going. I know, I do too.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
I think it has a lot to do with the quarterback play.
You're talking about an Ole Miss team who most people are that's like consensus top 5 team in the SEC. They go to Tulane. Tulane's quarterback is not playing, and Tulane takes them to the ropes. And Tulane's a good team, don't get me wrong. But, like, without their quarterback, Ole Miss,
it was tough look.
Like, they scored in 4 seconds, and then all of a sudden they couldn't score again.
Missouri didn't look good.
Missouri didn't look good. The Auburn-Cal game was like, if you didn't watch that game, let me just break down what happened to you. Cal
it put me to sleep, but I passed out during it.
Oh, dude, I was fighting to stay alive. The Arizona State game was keeping me up. Cal missed 3 field goals in the game. 3. On top of a field goal that they made as time expired in the first half that got called back because of holding. And then they couldn't kick it anymore because it had been like a 60-yarder. So essentially, they missed 4 field goals. And Auburn won 14-10 on a touchdown and within the last 5 minutes of the game. It was terrible. Auburn is awful. They're rotating Peyton Thorne and
Robbie Ashford.
Like, I don't know why they play Ashford. He's not good. He's a freak athlete. Like, figure out how to get him the ball in space other than just snapping it to him because
make him a wide receiver.
He's really good. I don't know what you need to do with him, like, but when he came in, that offense just stopped moving.
He's gonna come in next year, and it's gonna just be like one of those magical Auburn years that they just pull out of their butt, where he's like
with
Nick
Hugh Freeze,
Marshall.
he really might.
Where he's like Nick Marshall in 2013, and
people
are like, how is this guy even decent?
Coincidentally, didn't he come from Oregon? Didn't he transfer from Oregon?
I believe he did.
Who?
Yeah, Robbie Ashford.
Oh.
Oregon's had a lot of.
I'm like 92% sure he came from Oregon, and they got Bo Nix.
Yeah, well, good trade by Oregon. Bo Nix is good. That was a wild game. I don't even want to talk about it because the cover was so disgusting.
I do want to talk about it.
We're not talking about that game. Oh my God, no!
That made me want to stop watching.
I posted a TikTok. One of my little, silly gambling ones with the music in the background. And the 2 plays I put on there were Nebraska +3 and Texas Tech +6.5.
You should have just done that one. That was one of the worst beats of all time.
After the game, I went on there. Somebody had said something about Colorado beforehand, and I was like, they got all the money in the world on them. There's just I just can't not take Nebraska. And then that happened, and somebody commented immediately after it and said, "That's an L." I was like, "Shut up, dude." I mean, we had that game won. You can't even put that on me.
going back to a TikTok to like taunt somebody after a bet, that is so insane. Like after you see someone on TikTok and scroll, it's gone forever.
No
Come
doubt.
on.
No
What's
doubt.
crazy is probably most of the people who do it didn't even take anything in the game. Like they just do it. They're like, "Oh, you suck."
Well, I knew Colorado was going to win. I was like, all right, we'll show your bet slip, dog.
Let's see how much money you put on them, brother.
The last thing I had really was going back to the SEC. Like Tennessee is not good. Florida is not good. South Carolina is not good. Like
we got
SEC
a very stoppable force moving in, hitting an extremely movable object in Gainesville this weekend. I guess we'll see how that one goes. I kind of want to bet Florida, but I feel like that's just a stupid thing to do. And it's going to be like Nebraska. It's going to be like Nebraska, where on Saturday evening I'm going to be like, "Why the shit did I bet on Florida?
But
like,
dude,
why did I bet on Nebraska?"
It's not.
I don't
be
feel
like
that way though, just because like Colorado. The reason we thought that about Colorado because Nebraska stinks, and Colorado like has so much talent and freaks. Like Tennessee, watching them right now, like Joe Milton is Joe Milton. Like we know he's been benched twice. He struggles with things that quarterbacks do. He can just throw the ball extremely far. Tennessee offensive line is not good. Their defense is actually better, like especially against the run. I bet
they've been running the ball well.
That secondary is probably food though. But here's the issue with that, Griff. Heupel is so stubborn, and I'm saying this because this is the guy who had a first half ticket against Virginia that did cash, but barely. They're running the ball for like 8 yards a carry, just gash them. Well, he can't do that. He can't just sit there and keep running the ball until they stop it. He's got to let Milton pull it and throw it as far as he can at some point because he wants that deep ball more than anyone on the planet. Like that's his identity. Is doing stuff like that, and he can't just take what the defense is giving him. He's got to force those passes in, and then they get behind the sticks.
He's like, I have to score as quick as possible, so my defense is dying out there the whole game.
They had a 14-second 3-and-out against App State. 14 seconds.
I mean, Austin P.
I don't understand it. I'm gonna be honest. Like every time we would always be like, you could just tell a Tennessee fan, be like, I think y'all are gonna be worse this year because you lost your two leading receivers, your quarterback, your left tackle, and your best defensive player. You just hate Tennessee. You just don't understand the offense, even though they're running that damn 2012 Baylor offense like they've revolutionized football. Idiots.
I'm trying to find.
Here it is. That's exactly how it is, Jake. You're always like, well, why are you not gonna be worse than last year? Well, nobody's stopping our offense. Well, what about it? No, nobody's going to stop it. Well, you had two really good receivers, like two top 3 round receivers last year. Like they blow my mind. They don't have a clue.
And dude, I saw one Tennessee fan tweet. Just a friendly reminder. I think we'll be okay. And it was the score. It was the score of the Tennessee Pitt game from last year.
Yeah,
it was Tennessee at Pitt. A top 25 team ranked 22nd in the country who actually they were 8-4 last year. I think they won their bowl game too. They were pretty good. Mm-hmm. And they won in overtime. Tennessee did. I think we'll be okay. Let's compare that to beating Austin P at home in the ugliest game of all time.
It was a 10-point game in the fourth quarter. Like late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They're going to struggle, but we knew that. We knew that going in. The only people
but guess what? Joe Milton doesn't lose in Florida, so
that right there is why you have to bet Florida because that is just a prime that's going to be memed. Like that is going to be memed.
It's one of those things. Tennessee's not to that point. Like they're not there. They've been there before. They're not going to ever get back there where their players can say stuff like that.
Joe Milton, I've never lost in Florida. Yeah, because you never get to play there because you get benched before you play Florida every year. So
it's crazy, dude. I've never lost in Florida.
I don't lose.
Has he ever even played in Gainesville?
No, they played Clemson in the Orange Bowl, and that the team that they bragged about beating all offseason.
Oh, that's what he was saying. That's what he was saying.
Weren't they also losing to Charleston Southern?
They were. Yeah, that's the team that they're hanging their hat on. I've never seen a team that celebrates bowl wins like they do. Like remember when they beat Iowa after they won 7 straight?
Remember when they beat Indiana?
They do. They celebrate bowl games like I've never seen in my life.
They beat Indiana after that 8-4 Renaissance season with Josh Dobbs, and they thought, national championship they'd won.
No, screw them now. Anyway, anything else on week 2 before we go?
I don't think so.
I think I had one more thing. Notre Dame is good.
Yeah, they are good. They're good. They're a good team.
They're really good.
Is that Ohio State game this weekend?
I haven't seen a line for it. I think it might be next weekend for some reason.
Week 4. You would think
If-
Ohio State
if-
starts conference though, because they play 9 conference games. Well, I guess they played Indiana to start the year.
Regardless, if that game is next week, then we've got a loaded slate for week 4.
It's not. Ohio State plays Western Kentucky next week. Oh well.
No, that's what I'm saying. If it's week 4, then we've got a loaded slate for week 4.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Oregon State, Washington State, UCLA, Utah. Oh my
Ole
God.
Miss, Alabama, Colorado.
Colorado, Oregon, Florida
Colorado
State,
State.
Clemson.
Penn State's good too. Penn State's very good. I'm liking that ticket for them to win the Big Ten.
I tried to tell you guys, Penn State, it's going to be their year. Ohio State hasn't looked good.
Agreed.
Michigan hasn't looked great. We'll see.
Penn State, maybe. All right, that's pretty much the show. That's the week 2 recap. We'll be back later in the week for the week 3 preview.
Before we go, we went 8-4 as a podcast.
All right, we're on the up and up. We're on the up. Let's do it.
I went 2-2 this week, but I had some absolute heartbreakers.
Texas Tech should count. It should have been nice for the week.
Yeah. So,
Anyway, appreciate you guys
That's what it
listening.
is.
Y'all are the best. Go Dogs. Have a great rest of your week. Let's get ready to get back after it.